DIY.
Please excuse my tardiness over the last few days in reacting to these stories in real time. I lost my voice. I had some allergies and all of that, and it was kicking my ass. However, I think that I am back, and I want to make sure that I have this conversation while it's still fresh in my mind, while it's still fresh in your minds as well. Now, just to give you some heads up before we get into this, we got a lot of stuff to react to after all of the stuff has happened since Not Like Us dropped. Drake dropped another song called The Heart Part 6. We're going to break that down a little bit, but not so much leaning on that. I want to make sure that I make a case for why I believe this is now bigger than just some rap battle. Why I believe that this is a battle for culture. Why I believe this is a battle for reclaiming hip-hop from colonizers. Why I believe that this is a spiritual battle. And I think I have a lot of content here that'll help you understand sort of my mode of thinking on this. Let's start in order, though. So I'm pretty sure many of you have heard this song, The Heart Part 6, which is obviously a knock at Kendrick's long series of The Hearts, phenomenal series, really where I think he displays some of the most honest lyricism in his catalog, where I believe he displays kind of like journal entries of where he's currently at. So the same way that, not the same way, but in a way that Drake has his timestamp series, Kendrick has this series that really a lot of diehards understand and know about. With that said, in this song, I think what we have, and I'm going to let you be the judge of it, we'll play it. I think what we hear is a dejected Drake. I think what we hear is a Drake ready to throw in the white flag, and really just an oddly irrational Drake. It's not too sharp. He's not as sharp as what he was with Meek Mill, but let's let it play.
Pulitzer Prize winner is definitely spiraling. I got your fucking lines tapped, I swear that I'm dialed in. First I was a rat, so where's the proof of the trial then? Where's the paperwork of the cabinet is filed in? 1090 Jake would've took all the walls down. The streets would've had me hiding out in a small town. My Montreal connects stand up, not fall down. The ones that you get and get stories from, they all clowns. I am a war general, seasoned in prep.
Please remember that. Remember that line. The people you're getting your information from that are supposedly the moles that Kendrick's been talking about for the last few songs, he's calling them clowns right now. Remember this timestamp, okay?
My jacket is covered in medals, honor and decoration. You waited for this moment, overcome with the desperation. We plotted for a week and then we fed you the information.
The people that you're getting your information from are clowns. We plotted for a week and we fed you information. So is he... Continue.
A daughter that's 11 years old, I bet he takes it. We thought about giving a fake name or a destination, but you so thirsty, you not concerned with investigation. Instead, you in that Venice studio, it's a celebration. You gotta learn to fact check things and be less impatient. Your fans are rejoicing, thinking this is my expiration. Even the picture you use, the jokes and the medication, the Maybach glove and the drug he uses for less inflation. Master manipulator, you bid on a speculation. You dumb and reactive, nigga, I'm petty with dedication. What about the bones we dug up in that excavation? And why isn't Whitney denying all of the allegations? Why is she following Dave Free and not Mr. Morale? You haven't seen the kids in 6 months, the distance is wild. Dave leaving heart emojis underneath pics of the child. Speaking of anything with a child, let's get to that now. This Epstein angle was the shit I expected.
I'm stopping it. Somebody said why I'm stopping it. I need you to sit with these lines, because what I've learned about Mr. Drake, Mr. Aubrey, he's too masterful at hypnotizing his audience. He's fucking great at what he does. He is phenomenal at what he does. This is probably the best that he's been rapping this entire battle to me up until the end. You got to pay attention to what the things are being said and not fall into how good he sits in the pocket of the instrumental. No. We gonna stop that shit because I'm sure you've already heard it. He said, hold on.
Thing with a child, let's get to that now. This Epstein angle was the shit I expected.
This Epstein angle was the shit you sat here expecting Kendrick to take an Jeffrey Epstein angle with this battle? Why would you randomly think that? I don't,
TikTok videos
Whoa,
you collected and dissected. Instead of being on some disdirect shit, you rather fucking grab your pen and misdirect shit. My mom came over today and I was like, mother, wait a second. That's that one record where you say you got molested. Oh, fuck me, I just made the whole connection. This about to get so depressed.
He made the connection wrong. He made the correction wrong. He made the correction wrong because in that Mother Eye song, Kendrick talks about his mother thinking that something happened, but with a family member compromising him, and he said that was the PTSD that made her believe that, but nothing happened. He uses that as another angle for the battle. Drake couldn't find any information on Kendrick, and the best he has are linear notes, genius lyric theories. And he's just stretching whatever he has. Once again, he is creating his own grave because he keeps showing you how much of a master manipulator he truly is.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Listen, this is trauma from your own confessions. It's when your father leave you home alone with no protection, so neglected. That's why these pedophile raps and shit you so obsessed with is so excessive. They acting like it's so aggressive, but you just never known affection. I don't wanna dish you anymore. This really got me second guessing.
Is this the first time we've heard somebody? Is it the first time we heard somebody during a rap battle say, "I don't even want to dish you no more"? Huh? You have not dissed enough. You can't even focus on one person. You keep talking about everybody else. You can't even focus on. You just started rapping since push-ups. I don't even want to dish you no more. Sassy ass.
Touch My Body by Mariah Carey play, you probably start reflecting.
Okay, I'm stopping it again. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Touch My Body by Mariah Carey plays and you probably get
second guessing. But you just never known affection. I don't wanna dish you anymore. This really got me second guessing. Touch My Body by Mariah Carey play, you probably start reflecting.
Touch My Body by Mariah Carey plays, you probably start reflecting. What is going on here? Who's listening to Touch My Body by Mariah Carey randomly except for Drake?
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Just can you make that line make sense to me? Can you make that line make sense to me? Who except for Drake is sitting around listening to Mariah Carey and he's like, I bet when Kendrick listens to this, he probably gets uncomfortable. That is such a Drake thing to do.
I never been with no one underage, but now I understand why that's the angle that you really mess with. Just for clarity, I feel disgusted. I'm too respected. If I was fucking young girls, I promise I'd have been arrested.
If I was messing with young girls, I probably would have been arrested. Can you imagine telling a police officer that? You fit the description of someone who stole liquor from a liquor store. If I was somebody that stole liquor from a liquor store, I'd probably already be arrested. No, we're addressing the allegations right now. If I stole the liquor, I'd probably already be arrested and the liquor would be in the back seat. No, we're addressing that right now. You're not. This shit gotta be frustrating. If I'm Kendrick, I'm just like, what's going on with you?
I'm way too famous for the shit you just suggested, but that's not the lesson. Clearly there's a deeper message.
He didn't say I'm too famous. He didn't say I'm too famous for the freaky shit. Drake, what do you have to say about these allegations? I'm way too famous. And if it happened, I would have already been arrested. That's a cold way to say no.
Healed and now they got infected. Like if Dave really fucked your girl and got her pregnant. Talk about breeding resentment. Not sure how to ease the sentiment. The shit's too intimate. I'm praying you recover from both incidents. But you a piece of shit, so this shit really no coincidence. Drake.
I'm sorry. Can you imagine sitting there if you're Drake writing this and you have no proof? Can you imagine sitting there writing this and you're writing a story that you're now reacting to the fake story of? This nigga's he's not writing diss songs, he's writing fan fictions.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth. truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
He is writing fucking... This is disgusting. You're writing fan fiction. You're sitting here writing non-fictional stories and you're getting excited about the plot thickening. This is terrible.
It's not a name that you gon' see on no sex.
I will say, though, he's rapping on this one. He's rapping on this one. He is rapping. I'll give him that.
Fenderless, easy does it. You mention it A minor, but niggas gotta be sharp and tell the fans who was it.
You know what's interesting about that A minor line? You know what's interesting about that A minor line? A little nerd music theory. So quick music lesson. B sharp is still C major, which means in relativity, it's still A minor.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Fire your writers! Or maybe you're writing this one. What's going on? How are you making music and not knowing the music theory of the thing that you was in such a that's a young punchline. Somebody didn't think that one through. Like somebody didn't say to themselves like, hey, let's check the relativity. Hey, make sure that shit ain't related to A minor because that would be a terrible fumble. We're halfway through this shit and he keeps doing this.
Thought you left D flat, D major. I slit your throat with the razor and do Rick Ross hair like that one flight from Malaysia. I'm your baby mama screensaver. Only fucking with Whitney's, not Millie Bobby Browns. I never look twice at no teenager. I'm a fucking hit maker, dog.
Drake says, I never look twice at any teenager. This is where your lyrics start to catch up with you. High school pics, you was even bad then.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
That is Drake on Nice for What? You need a little bit more? How about this one? You had potential, I could have shaped it. You went and caved it. Ooh, yeah, we could have waited. I wasn't rushing. Difference in ages, you're old enough, but you're still a baby. This is what makes it difficult to take the conversation you just took, sir. That's freaky as hell. Freaky ass, you a 6'9" guy. Freaky ass, you was a 6. Hey.
Not a peacemaker. Yeah, bullets that I'm stuffing in each chamber. Your ass in extreme danger. Stop buying views and buy comments. You may as well keep the paper. Shit you about to need for later. I give a fuck about.
I love the fact that we can break this down line by line. You guys want to break down? Here you go. He just accused Kendrick of bots. He just accused Kendrick of bots. I want to see if I can find this really quick. I like to show y'all something really quick. It may require me to go back a few, but I want you to see. Oh, I need you to see this because it's very relevant to this conversation right now. So about a month ago, I did a video in which I was kind of exposing that first version of push-ups might have indeed been AI. Is it here? No, that's mine. That's the album. Okay, that's something else. Let me see. What else we got? Where is it at? I need to get this. We need to get this along. Is it here? What the hell are we doing? Is it? No, that's no, I was right before it. Okay, I know it's coming up. Where is it at? Here we go. Right here. I want you, let me make sure I got this on the screen right. I want you to look at this shit. Come in here and look at it. Come in here and look at this. Hold on, let me make sure I got the screen. Because I need you to understand why this angle about Kendrick having bots and buying views is so odd to me. Especially when, as you'll see here, I put up a video. This video had about 2 million views. 2.5 million views, as you can see. And about halfway through the day after this came out, I started getting bombarded by so many bots. Matter of fact, for a cool 14 hours, I received bots that were just on the offensive. Hold on, let me see if I can go back to
There's
that.
some things.
Where are we at? I have a screenshot in case I can't find it here. But these bots were very similar bots that were happening when Pusha T was getting attacked. And I'm going to see if I can just find one of them, because when I tell you, unless they've been deleted by good old Elon, these bots were unrelenting. They were saying things like, Kendrick drinks the blood of babies for adrenochrome, and they said that Rick Ross dropped the soap and liked it, and every single one of them. Here it goes. Here goes one example of those. I got literally thousands for 12 odd hours, and I'm not the only one. There's people in here who can tell you about that. I got hours of these. He's accusing Kendrick of bots. I put up one video exposing push-ups. All of a sudden, I get posts like this on a regular. This guy said, that's his name. It's a fake name. It's his name. He said they posted evidence of Rick Ross soliciting minors, and it has a skull emoji, and that shit got hashtag TSTTPD and hashtag Taylor Swift. You know what that is? That's Taylor Swift's last album.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Who is represented by Taylor Swift? UMG. Who else? Drake. So you trying to tell me they utilize bots for any posts that were disparaging about Drake so that they can help her album be a trending topic, her name be a trending topic, while also attacking anybody who was against anything Drake? And you accuse Kendrick of using bots in views? Brother. Jeez, these are not talking points that you should bring up. You're not focused right now. What's going on? What are the side effects of Ozempic? I don't know, but it seemed like there's something going on. You are not focused, Drake. You're not sharp, brother.
Out your streaming data, you could drop 100 more records. I'll see you later. Yeah, maybe when you meet your maker. I don't wanna fight with a woman beater. It feeds your nature. If you still bumping R. Kelly, you could thank the savior. Said if they deleted his music, then your music is going to a hypocrite. I don't understand why these people praise you. Sounding like you sent him commissary when he needs some paper. Album dropping soon, no wonder you turn a clout chaser instead of doing hard labor. Nigga, I see you when I see you, like Fantasia. And Whitney, you can hit me if
I don't know how any grown man walks away from this and says, man, he did that shit, bro. Man, when he dropped that Mariah Carey line, I was like, man, I hope he don't put another R&B singer in there. Then this nigga dropped Fantasia. Shit, that shit was a rap. That shit was a rap. Man, the way he be name dropping R&B singers, man, that shit crazy, bro. Like, that's that hip hop shit. Like, that's the shit. I be, the game needs that. The game needs that. More R&B bars. And there's nothing wrong with Fantasia. I think she's an amazing artist. Mariah Carey. But once again, you know what this sounds like to me? And I started wondering, why do you drop these R&B singers' names in here? You know what my theory is now? This is a cleanup job. This is a PR statement in the form of a song, hoping to address the most important core of his fan base, which are women. So he's saying things that touch my body, Mariah Carey. Only my female cousins have listened to that and told me something about that. He's not talking to Kendrick anymore. This is, I'm talking to my base, because that last song calling me a freaky ass 6ix9ine God, it's got me a little nervous. I'm a little nervous. My sponsors are a little nervous too. I need to make sure y'all know that look. I'm still the same. I'm still the same Drake. I'm still the same Drake. That's what it feels like when I listen to this shit.
if you need a favor. And when I say I hit your back, it's a lot safer. I promise.
That was a little zesty.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, this shit was some good exercise. Like, it's good to get out, get the pen working.
You ever go to the gym with somebody who don't really want to go to gym, and you want to work out for like 30, 40 minutes, and they pick up a little 5-pound weight, or they just start walking, and you're like, damn, I'm tired. You want to get some food? He's talking about, man, that's some good exercise. Do you understand what you were in? Do you understand what you're in the middle of right now? Do you not see this man has been shooting at you very directly? That's some good practice, man. You know, like next time maybe you learn your lesson. What are you talking about right now? To me, this is the most sassiest part of this whole song. This to me shows you are losing it because you start reiterating points you just rapped about and you start sounding extra. I start hearing, I'm an expert, by the way, because I'm light skinned and I can speak on this. He starts speaking in the language of beige rage towards the end of this. He starts beige raging.
You would be a worthy competitor if I was really a predator and you weren't fucking lying to every blogger and editor, but it is what it is.
Burnt out.
You definitely got this shit burnt the fuck out though, like.
He's so goddamn, he's so sassy. He's so sassy. Imagine Tupac telling Biggie, you just got this shit. I mean, for real, like, you got this shit completely burnt out. What the fuck? Like, you was doing way too much. Releasing all them songs? The fuck are we doing? Rapping? Are we rappers? Or the fuck? You got this shit burnt out. You're talking to your homegirls right now. You're not talking to folks who are looking for raps. This is what bothers me about this. This is why when people are like, oh, it might be Drake and Kendrick. I didn't get excited about this until I realized what this could mean for the industry. What this could mean for a change in the way that society is asking for music with more depth, for more music that makes them feel something. That's when I got excited. That's when I realized a loss in this battle is a win for folks who treat this like a high art, lyricism like a high art, music like a high art. For those that care about this craft, this is going to be a win because people are going to see this and say, damn, I've been under hypnosis. I thought he could do no wrong. Now I'm questioning everything from his dedication to music, his dedication to the craft, his dedication to the culture, also, and whether or not I can trust to have my little sister around him.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
A lot of Drake fans right now, and I don't say this laughing at you, a lot of you are having really emotional conversations amongst yourself about the guy that you've been following, the example that you've been letting lead you, because now you're starting to recognize, damn, I wonder if some of those character flaws have seeped into me because I've been listening to him like this is my teacher. I've been letting him hypnotize me with bad fucking habits. I've been letting him change the way that I look at manhood, the way that I look at what's a stand-up guy, the way that I've been looking at just how do I hold myself up? I understand it when you're young, you're impressionable, but there's a reason why 38 years later in this man's life, he's still talking to young kids. And it has nothing to do with the allegations. It has to do with a certain mindset. He continues to make songs that appease people that are too young to develop their own opinion about things. For the most part, there are a lot of young folks that are doing that. But there's a reason. It's easier to manipulate. He to me is the embodiment of what the record label system has been for artists for years. They don't want to sign anybody older because you know better. You're going to say no more than likely because you don't have to work with them. When you're young, you don't know any better. When you're young, you say hell yes to shit that you said, why in the hell? You'll wait till you're 35 to say, why in the hell did I do that? So he continues to talk to a demographic that he thinks is really stupid. And I'm going to prove why I believe he thinks you're stupid in the next few videos. But let's let him cook.
You got 10 more records to drop. The one before the last one, we finessed you into telling a story that doesn't even exist.
He don't even believe that lie.
And then you go and drop the West Coast one and try and cover that up. I would like that one.
What script is he reading? He is so out of touch. He is so out of touch. What are you? So you dropped that other song because he's turned into Sherlock fucking Holmes. He's turned into Sherlock Holmes. Now he's like, yeah, so here's the thing about it, man. You guys are just too pea-brain to understand it. I planted the evidence. I manipulated the situation. He fell for it, right? And so the reason why you're explaining yourself. You're explaining things we didn't ask for. Kendrick merely said, hey, I think you got some inappropriate relationships with younger girls. He said, ain't nothing wrong with me and my Millie Bobby Brown? Huh?
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Some may say, well, that was the very common internet rumor. Are you battling the internet or are you battling Kendrick Lamar? Because it doesn't seem like you're focused, sir.
That would be some shit I could dance to if you wasn't.
This nigga said it'd be some shit I can. He compliments the. Go back. This nigga compliments the damn song, not like
Even
us.
exists. And then you go and drop the West Coast one and try and cover that up. I would like that one. That would be some shit I could dance to if you wasn't tripling down on some whole other bullshit. But
so you admit it's a hit. You just admitted it's a hit. And will be some shit I dance to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that should be kind of, I mean, it's good for your catalog. Like, I wish you would make more shit like that. You feel me? Like, it's just kind of cool. Like, I'm with that shit. You feel me? Like, but if you wasn't telling lies and shit, like you got this shit burned the fuck out. What the fuck is going on?
You know, at least your fans are getting some raps out of you. I'm happy I can motivate you, bring you back to the game. Like,
for strings.
You know, but just let me know when we're getting to the facts. Everything in my shit is facts.
After he told you multiple lies and covered up the mother may I. He told you multiple lies about a song we all had access to. And he said, you criticized Kendrick for being prepared. You got 10 diss songs. You got this shit burnt the fuck out. I ain't even trying to be all in there like that. I got shit to do. I'm trying to go on vacation. You got 10 songs and you're angry at his preparation? It's called a battle. It's called a battle. You said that I am the top. I am the one. I am the one. He said, we're the big three. He said, ain't no big three. It's big me. Hold on. What I'm not going to let you do is talk to me the way you talking to me right now. Boop. That's all the fuck we getting. I'm just sick of this shit now. I'm
waiting on you to return the favor, like.
I have never in my life, I'm gonna be real petty right now. I've never in my life, this is real petty. I've never in my life heard nobody end a diss song by using the word like. That shit bother me. Don't leave us on a cliffhanger. That nigga said like.
I'm waiting on you to return the favor, like.
Jesus. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, turn this AC on. This is hot in this motherfucker. Oh my goodness, this is ridiculous. I just can't believe we're listening to what we're listening to. This shit is ridiculous. Oh my gosh, this your guy, because he. I don't know how you stand by it. I don't know how you stand by the shit going on right now. All right, let's get into some other stuff. So this was a video that I saw pop up right before I went live, and I want to definitely break this up. This is by urban legend Will Evans. And he draws some really, really important statements in this that I think are worth discussing. Somebody said that TMZ already debunked this, but I don't trust the powers that control the powers that are from the powers telling me what is true and what's not true, because it doesn't seem far-fetched at all. I'm gonna let him cook.
This might be the most important video I've done on this topic so far. Urban legend Will Evans, y'all know what it is, bro. UMG is calling off Kendrick Lamar off Drake because billions are at stake. This is a report that's going around. It says from an insider, and they're waiting on the proof in the form of documents, so they'll update whenever they receive it. This is what's being said. PG Lang, aka Kendrick Lamar, and EXO, The Weeknd, as of yesterday, were asked by Universal Music Group to end the beef with OVO and Drake. Kendrick apparently isn't budging on it, but UMG is pressing hard on their request to squash the beef. UMG also had a Zoom meeting with all of the parties involved.
The moment he said Zoom meeting, I believed it.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth.
Hold on, guys. Hey, wait a minute. Wait a fucking minute. Get Drake and get Kendrick in here in a Zoom call. I believed as soon as he said Zoom call.
And they want Kendrick, either directly or said through PG Lang, his company, to post a statement clarifying that Drake isn't a pedo if Kendrick agrees to end the beef. Drake is losing the beef in Universal Music Group's eyes. So from their perspective, the sooner it ends, the better.
Do you feel like a winner still? You still feel like this is a landslide? I can't believe some people are like, yo, Drake is up 4-0. And Connect 4? What game are you playing? You ain't talking about these songs, are you?
Pedo claims and accusations directed at Drake are costing UMG, Nike, and the other parties a lot of money. So they want Kendrick Lamar to squash it right now, put out a statement, even if it's not true, put out a statement to fix this, because Drake just did a deal up there worth $400 million. Drake just signed his life away to UMG. And this is why Kendrick is saying the lines in the song when he's saying, you know, show me your splits and I'll double back with you. You want to talk about splits? Show me your splits. I'll promise you I'll double back with you.
There's a Kendrick line for every part of this story, which is scary. That shit is terrifying. That shit is terrifying. There's a Kendrick line for like the last 5 years. For every single line, every single thing that happens in this battle, there's a Kendrick line for it. That's scary, by the way.
That's why Kendrick is saying those lines, because Drake probably doesn't own much of his catalog at all or his life right now. It's been reported that Drake is being required to put out 2 albums a year. So
before we get into that, I wanted to dig into, well, why would UMG need to shut this shit down? What is happening in the world? What is happening in society in general that might make UMG say, all right, you guys have had your fun, but I think it's starting to get a little bit too serious, guys, okay? Okay? All right? Let me see. Let me pull this link up real quick on my documents, because oh man, shout out to my guy Justin from the company, man. He sent this link to me. I hadn't even seen this online. Have you guys been seeing some of the ridiculousness of how this song, Not Like Us by Kendrick, the Drake diss, have you seen the way it's been moving in these streets? Have you been seeing, like, beyond the I can make you a 20-minute compilation of people crip walking all across the world, blood walk, I can make you a 20-minute video right now with very limited editing. It's white folks crip walking to this. It's crazy. It is spiritual. I'm telling you, you're not hearing when I say this is spiritual. Something is happening. Something is moving people. Like, it had Kai Cenat sitting up there throwing up gang signs. He was like, I am so sorry. I don't know what I just did. It's spiritual. It is spiritual. I feel like, man, it is spiritual. I'm telling you, y'all not hearing me. Something is happening, and it feels like Donald Glover wrote this script for a bonus episode of Atlanta. You don't get what I'm talking about? Let me draw your attention to a few of these things right here. So, peep game. So this right here, make sure I got it on the screen, right? We got lots to react to tonight. Oh my gosh. So look at this. Look at it. Come here. Look at this shit. Come here. Look at it. During the Spring Fest at the University of Buffalo, the audience is shocked when they hear the lyrics to Kendrick's Drake song, Not Like Us, for the first time. The University of Buffalo is 20 minutes from Canada.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Drake, I hate you like I'm young. You better not ever go to cell block 1.
They playing acapellas.
And you talk to him and they laugh. Just make sure you hide your little sister from him. They tell me Chubb the only one to get your hand-me-downs and party at the party playing with his nose now. And Baka got a weird case. Why is he around? Certified lover boy, certified pedophile. That fucking world. I'ma do my stuff. Why you trolling like a bitch? Ain't you tired? Trying to strike a chord and it's probably A minor. Let's go.
Playing the acapella. I didn't realize how ugly that could be. They're playing the acapella. The acapella is that is nasty work. That is nasty work. That is nasty freaking work. Man, I tell you, hold on. We got more. We're not done here. We got a lot of stuff to react to for good reason. You know, Drake is probably right now saying, hey, I kind of really regret getting into this because I really wanted to take a vacation. You know, man, I'd really just love to just watch the NBA playoffs, man. You know, Toronto's not in it, but I just want to kind of enjoy the NBA playoffs. Well, that's kind of hard if you're listening and watching on TNT, because this was the game, the Nuggets versus the Minnesota Timberwolves.
So the Timberwolves, who have led by as many as 32, will take a 22-point lead into the fourth quarter with the NBA playoffs presented by Google Pixel.
When the last time you heard a diss song? Well, maybe back-to-back. Get played like this on TNT for the commercial. This is not a commercial song. It's something spiritual going on. I'm telling you, the people are being moved and they have no idea why they're being moved. Oh, it's terrifying for some. They're looking at this shit like, so, you know, maybe Drake says, you know what, man, forget all of this, man. I'm not even watching the playoffs. Watching the playoffs, that shit overrated anyway. He doing the motherfucking much. Maybe he says, let's go to Nigeria. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I can do the Dave Chappelle thing and like lead the states. Look at what this dude, it's a skit, but look at what he did. He said, look at it. Oh, okay, new vibes. Drake just chilling.
Why you trolling like a bitch? Ain't you tired? Trying to strike a chord and it's probably A minor. like us. They not like us. They not like us.
Oh,
They not
shit.
like us. They not like us. They not like us. Why you trolling like a bitch? Ain't you tired? Trying to strike a chord and be probably minor. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry.
Somebody gonna
Oh,
have to tell the
shit,
truth, and I'm gonna
son.
tell it.
This is spiritual, ladies and gentlemen. This is spiritual. This is spiritual. This is spiritual. I am telling you. Did you even see this? He's hitting him too hard. Did you even see this? 4 bats. Somebody who was just signed to Drake deleted this tweet where he said, not Drake. He said, hey, Kendrick Lamar, I just dropped my new tape. Nigga, can I get 24 hours at least?
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
In this house, you are not going to tell me lies. You tell a lie about me, I'll tell the truth about you. You are not going to tell lies about who won this. Do you see what's going on here? I haven't even got to the club shows. Hold on. Hold your damn horses. I ain't even got to the clown shows. Oh, the club shows. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Let me see where I can pull this up from. I think it's a good place. Let me see. It is absolutely ridiculous when you start seeing that some of these clubs, the one that blew my mind the most was New York. I, for the life of me, never saw, especially Gen Z. Gen Z don't seem like they really be dancing as much as past generations. But boy, oh boy, when I saw this video right here, ladies and gentlemen, I was beside myself. I said, wow, times are changing. It is a room full of all different races in New York, a place that hasn't always been the friendliest in terms of playing West Coast music. They're in a club and the Gen Zers are dancing and there's some random ass nigga playing a saxophone. This shit is an Atlanta episode. Childish Gambino, Donald Glover, whatever this ain't no Black Mirror. This is a Childish Gambino episode of Atlanta. Look at this shit. It's spiritual, ladies and gentlemen. This is spiritual. This is family.
Run for your life. Hey, run for your life. Freaky ass nigga, he the 69
It's
God.
gonna be a long
Freaky
summer.
Ass nigga, he the 69 God. Hey, run for your life. Hey, run for your life. Let me hear you say OV-ho.
It's about to be a long summer. It's gonna be a long summer. It is going to be a long ass. Oh, you thought we was done? Shout out to my guy DJ Artistic. He played this in LA for the first time this night. That's what it looked like in LA. This is insane. This is spiritual. This is spiritual. This is insanity, ladies and gentlemen. What is happening? We have not seen anything like this. The same one that was out barring him, out rapping him, decided to take a detour and play him and beat him at his own game. Matter of fact, you know what? Before I leave my page, I need to get one more of these articles because it is relevant to what we're talking about right now. I didn't really think that. I wasn't thinking in a battle. I wasn't even thinking about charts. Like, to me, when you talk about a battle, I ain't worried about no damn charts. Billboard can't validate hip hop. First of all, Billboard can't validate hip hop. Hip hop validates Billboard. First of all, but it was really interesting when I was like, oh, let's get another one. I forgot about this one. Andre Power Selection. This is crazy. Fam, please take this into consideration. Kendrick has not performed it not once.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Kendrick hasn't made a music video to any of these. Do you know how problematic it's going to be if he finds that Drake lookalike and he has him in the video looking crazy? How Death Row had a fake Eazy-E looking crazy in the music video? Do you know how crazy that's gonna look? He been doing this all with audio. With audio. No Instagram stories. No, it's an audio battle for him. That's how this is spiritual. This is spiritual. Something is happening. The people they can't control themselves. I said, I saw a guy was throwing up gang signs. He was like, I'm sorry. I don't know why I did that. You know, I did not anticipate this, but we're going to talk about this as well before we get to that video again. Check this out. Kendrick Lamar has 4 songs in the top 10 on both U.S. Spotify and U.S. Apple Music. Not Like Us, Euphoria, Like That, and Meet the Grams.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
It is spiritual. This is spiritual. This is something that witty, sassy bars cannot do for you. This is something that you cannot sing and hypnotize the listeners into believing. This is something that you feel, and you have no idea why you feel so deeply upon these things. To kind of bring this home before I get to the other points, did you know that this thing had people crying? Some of these might be for, for the look and whatnot, because it is content creation. But I had people when I was reacting to that song, Meet the Grams, that were saying, I don't know why I'm overwhelmed by emotions. Well, look at it in real time.
I believe you. You never gave us nothing to believe in. Cause you lied about religious views. You lied about your surgery. You lied about your accent and your past tense. All is perjury. You lied about your ghostwriters. You lied about your crew members. They all pussy. You lied on them. I know they all got you in them. You lied about your son. You lied about your daughter, huh? You lied about them other kids that's out there hoping that you come. You lied about the only artist that can offer you some help. Fuck a rap battle. This a long life battle with yourself.
Damn.
Oh, boy.
Damn. Is he crying? Bro.
Oh, boy.
There's no way he's crying. There's no shot he's crying.
Oh. Frequencies. I'm with you. Frequencies. Yes, they're at play right now. It's something is happening right now, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you see this is a spiritual war right now. I wanted to make sure that my chat and this one guy weren't the only ones, so I ran a search. I saw this lady here who said, and she might be a biased fan, but she said, crying in my bedroom because I don't think y'all understand how great of a poet Kendrick Lamar is. Of all the songs, Meet the Grams is what touched me the most. I can identify with everything he said to every one of those verses, from Adonis to Dennis to Baby Girl to Sandra, and especially to Drake himself. I too believe that he shouldn't eat dying. So all of these women can live with the purpose. All of them, damn, she kind of went in. I wasn't expecting that. Let me see what else I can find. I saw another video, but I'm hoping that I'm showing you that the effects of the songs are more than just, damn, that shit was kind of crazy. That shit hard. He be going crazy. That shit kind of, damn, man, Drake killing it. It's more than that when it comes to Kendrick. Do you ever wonder why that is? I think by the end of the stream, you will understand. I'm going to let him cook a little bit more because I think he's saying a lot of things that will help give some perspective to those who maybe not in the industry that are watching. By the way, thank you for choosing to be here.
People think Drake just drops because he wants to drop, but reports are going around that says Drake puts out 2 albums a year because Universal Music Group is forcing him to, because he just did a deal with them in 2022 for $400 million, the biggest deal in music business history, especially for a rapper. And they have 4 of the top 5 earning artists in any genre over at UMG. Now, this is interesting, bro. $400 million for a record deal. That's crazy. He just got Patrick Mahomes numbers for a record deal.
Facts.
This is what an article says. It says, after rampant speculation about a bidding war for his services, Drake appears to have finalized a mega deal with Universal Music Group that could net him upwards of $400 million when it's all said and done. Drake has been known to be making about $50 million. This is what they're reporting. $50 million for his label every year just off of the music. They saying annual earnings are $50 million. I believe that is much more than that. I believe Drake is making much more than that. If they're giving him $400 million, they know they're gonna recoup that probably within 5 years.
Good point.
That's a lot of money to give a rapper, bro. And I know Drake is, multi-talented. I know he's a songwriter, so they're getting publishing off of other people's songs, and things like that. But if you guys remember, this article says this right here. It says in July 2020, entrepreneur Steve Stout is somebody that's in the music business heavy, and rapper Russ discussed the possibility of Drake going independent and predicted a big payday on the horizon. Now, I remember this was a big thing. Stout ended up saying, because of dollars, a lot of different Nike is investing in him. Obviously Drake has OVO, but Nike is investing in him.
Right.
I guess, his OVO label is housed under Warner Records, so they're invested in him. And they have all Drake's artists over there. His streetwear line. Obviously he has Nocta. He recently launched a company called Better World Fragrance, which is a luxury candle company. So there's a lot of companies that are looking at it like, we just gave this man a lot of money. We can't afford for his career to end. So it's being reported that UMG, Universal Music Group, is asking Kendrick Lamar to put up an apology, step down, and get off this beef, because
stand on that shit, Kendrick. Fuck that. Stand on that shit. Stand on that shit. And I know he will. Because the way that this dismantling of this character, this to me is bigger than just. It's bigger than even some of the lyrics that we heard talking about. I hate the way you dress. I think this is more so that Drake is a microcosm of a dying system. He's a microcosm of a problematic system, one that pulls in the vulnerability of folks that are going after their dreams, who are naive and will do anything to be in position. They're a system that does this on a regular basis and then hides their hands. Once you make a mistake or you crash out, they then put the blame on you. They wash, rinse, and then do that shit all over again. And then people look at you like you stupid for for fumbling the bag. My friends, what's happening is a spiritual warfare right now.
You're costing us billions of dollars. You're costing Nike billions of dollars. And
so Kendrick is not only going up against Drake, he's going up against some of the most prestigious corporate brands who are backing Drake. Do you understand why what's happening is so problematic? Aside from the news, we're not going to react to the news today of stuff that happened. There's too many details that have not been disclosed, right? If anything, I think that if this is a spiritual warfare, that could be one of the results of it being a spiritual warfare, is that shit gets close to home when shit is not adding up, when lines have been crossed. It gives some people the green light to violate. And I feel like what we have been seeing has been a violation of lines that have been crossed, because one of the people is completely culturally tone deaf, because who they represent is not hip hop. What they represent is OMG. I'll let him cook.
Kendrick, like, nah, standing on business. Like, bro, I'm still with it. I don't care what y'all talking about. And maybe this is the reason why we see Kendrick Lamar's album covers, all the stuff getting taken down, all the pictures that require, Drake's consent technically by law. All that stuff is getting taken down. Maybe it's not Drake. Maybe it's Universal Music Group. Like, you know what? We're going to do everything we can. If he don't want to budge, we're going to start playing the legal game. You know what I'm saying? So this is interesting, bro, because Kendrick Lamar has a deal with UMG too for publishing. Now, if you guys don't know how the music business works, you have publishing deals and you have record deals. Publishing deals is just, we can license your music to different places. So like the NBA, when you hear the NBA playing Kendrick Lamar's song at halftime or at quarter breaks or timeouts or whatever, you hear Kendrick Lamar's song on TNT, that's licensing. They're licensing his music, allowing other people to use it, and they're getting a paycheck off it. Now, Kendrick did a deal for that, and that's not owning the rights or the masters to his music. They don't own that, but UMG does own some of his publishing. I don't know if they own all of his publishing, but I know they own a percentage of his publishing.
And shout out to Kendrick too, because I don't know how I don't think this is strategic. I think this is just showing how in touch Kendrick is with the people of the culture. Because when I say the culture, we're going to define the culture to the best of our ability. When I say the culture, I'm talking about beyond hip hop, right? Hip hop is how can I put this? Hip hop in itself is a culture. But when I say the culture, there is a commonality there's a commonality on a spiritual level. There's a understanding of nuance. There's an understanding of boundaries that people who are members of said culture understand, even if they don't ever have it verbalized. And there's certain things that have been crossed in the process. And when we're talking about, let me make sure I get this reader this point right.
Some of his publishing rights are the masters to his music. They don't own that, but UMG does own some of his publishing. I don't know if they own all of his publishing, but I know they own a percentage of his publishing for sure.
Okay, doubling back to the point of him releasing the copyrights. I don't know if you knew that. If you've done content like I've been doing content, usually content flies off, right? Usually content, you're not even allowed to like play the songs and make any money off of that as a YouTuber or whatever. Because of that, Kendrick said, you know what? I'm going to release those. I'm going to release those copyrights so you guys as YouTubers can make your money off of this. Do you know how many channels are being affected by that decision to do that? That's super dope.
He's on their website. You can go check it out for yourself. This is all public knowledge. Now, this is interesting because this
don't pay attention. The bots have come in.
Means that if this is true, Drake has officially lost, bro, because your business partners, the people that gave you hundreds of millions of dollars, 400 million from UMG reportedly, and I don't even know what Nike gave him. It's an undisclosed amount, but if that's the case, they're feeling like you're losing this beef. Your public image is being tarnished, and we need to save you. We have to step in to save you.
Did you hear that? Let's focus. Let's focus. Let's focus. Let's focus. Let's focus. Did you hear that? Do you hear that? Do you hear that? If the corporations are fighting behind the scenes this vehemently to make sure that this shit stops, because that song, Not Like Us, is flying with gasoline draws. If it is going as crazy as it is going, this could potentially harm their biggest cash cow in a way that they cannot recover from. So they're asking, hey, fuck all this rap shit. In this, we got money to be made. Come on. Get out of this hip-hop stuff, Drake. Come on. Come back over here and sing a little bit. Nah, come on, man. Don't leave that Kendrick man alone, man. You got this, man. This is where we're at. He's losing so bad that the people who pay him, and before y'all get to telling me about TMZ articles, I got another video for you because you know I do my research. Let's let him continue.
And that's telling in itself right there, bro. And obviously, nobody wants their number one artist, especially in the hip-hop genre, for UMG. He's their number one artist, because especially if they own everything. If we own a huge percentage of what you got going on now, I don't know, he might have a net profit deal, you know what I mean? Which is basically, we put money up together for our projects and we split at the end, whatever we make. If it's an 85-15 split, I get 15%, you guys get 85% because y'all gave me in advance, and whatever, we go our separate ways, right? I don't know if that's the case, but it could be that. But this is super interesting, bro. We might not hear another diss from Kendrick Lamar or Drake. And Peter Rosenberg and Cypher Sounds, who are, music industry.
Before he gets into that, I want to go to that clip. I saw this on YouTube where it was Peter Rosenberg talking on a Cypher Sounds podcast, Rosenberg Radio, YouTube, I believe. And he's talking about how he had a conversation with the higher up that said that, or actually a higher up, a famous NFL player. And I guess the topic of the conversation was why Drake is going to have to pull out of this battle.
All great. Oh. Who said food for thought? All great. Oh. Who said food for thought? And this is like what you're saying, Syph, but different.
Yeah.
He said food for thought. Don't be shocked if this beef ended with Drake's last drop. Not because he lost, which in my opinion he did, but
landslide.
Who's saying my opinion? You're still quoting the football player?
Yes. Okay. I'm still quoting this legendary football player. He
Yeah.
said, but his corporate partners, Nike, NFL, NHL, are all probably getting nervous about the perception of the things being said and that they could stick and be bad for their images.
You talking about the part where they said, use a freaky ass nigga, use a 6'9" guy, freaking ass nigga, use a 6'9" guy. Hey. You talking about all them people dancing right now? Maybe that's kind of, you think that's kind of hurtful to you, somebody's image? Okay. Kendrick was channeling the most aggressive Draco the Ruler that I ever heard. He said, certified lover, you a certified pedophile. A minor. They know. Don't let the people in these corporate situations understand how much of a L this is before you do, you supposed hip hop heads. Don't let them tell you before you better recognize what's going on. If when the money gets hurt, you lost. You lost. Fuck all that cute rapping shit, you lost. Yo Zaddy said, reel it in. Get your ass back in here and go make an album. Reel that shit in. Why you gonna mess with that man? Reel that shit back in. We'll figure it out. We'll try to get a cease and desist, but reel that shit back in. Reel it in. Bring it back. Bring it back. Boom. Stop. You heard that? Bring it back. Stop it. Terrible.
The allegations being made. These allegations can transcend his fan base.
That's who wrote that. That's incredible, and you're not gonna tell me, but bro,
I'll put it this way though: he's an older legend. He's an '80s star. He's not a he's not.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. The writing is on the wall of what's happening. These songs. I'm sorry, this is not a versus battle. Some of y'all got introduced to the idea of battling, not through the URLs, not through the rap battle leagues. You got introduced to it through the idea of versus. That was the first time you even considered. Or maybe the movie 8 Mile. And 8 Mile does a really good job of depicting some of the aspects of it, but you don't understand this. You've never attended any events. If you think that versus is the idea of a battle, you are lost. You're lost. I'm sorry, I'm here to tell you you're lost. This is not a matter of who can make a better song. I just listen, I'm like, that's what makes the last knockout blow from Kendrick even that much more damaging. I'm doing better numbers than you, and that's your game, Drake. I have a song that is going to get played all summer long, and if they try to ban it, it will be bigger than it ever was going to be before. Don't let me make a music video about it. And I don't know, but I feel like something's got to happen June 16th. Can you imagine? Can you imagine a show at Crypto Center? And it's the first time you see Kendrick perform these songs? Just speculating. Could you imagine what that will look like? That is like Nas when he was rapping the Etherverse in Queens. And he's, you know what I'm saying? He's in front of this audience that were like, take his ass down. This would be so crazy. It would be caught in 4K. We have never seen anything like this. I want to kind of go to more of the other stories though. Because I think that if you think that this is lyrically close, you might be culturally tone deaf. And I just can't have high level hip hop conversations with you. I cannot take it serious. Did Drake make great songs? Yes, he always makes great Drake songs. My question is, what new did you learn about Drake's skill set that you did not know throughout this entire duration? What did you know? What did you learn? His ability to manipulate is terrible. His ability to keep information in his camp. I didn't see none of that Meek Mill energy. He took advantage of a Meek Mill that was supposedly going through a lot of drugs at the time, was on tour, and he took advantage of a weak point because he felt like he was disrespected by him exposing he had a ghostwriter. He ain't did none of that shit to Kendrick. When it was Meek Mill, that back-to-back was all about Meek Mill. But now he met somebody that is really out-rapping his ass. And then for the final knockout blow, he has a song that is going off so much. it's I gotta check the stats, but I believe it's the most streamed song in a day, breaking Drake's original record with Lil Baby. Like That hasn't left the chart since it dropped. It's only a 16-bar verse that he contributed to it. I'm sorry, he's beating you at both games. And now the culture is dancing to allegations. How do you win that? Shout out to Charlemagne the God. He posted this up on his page, and I liked hearing this perspective because Robert Greene is somebody that I definitely quoted when I said I think that Kendrick is really utilizing the 48 Laws of Power in a masterful way. Starting back from when he had them over there. I'm going to include academics. When he had them over there just waiting, he had them over there just nervous, like, when you going to drop, Kendrick? When you going to drop? I don't know how we got from, when you going to drop, Kendrick? When you going to drop? 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 Are you scared? I think he's scared. I don't know how we went from that to, you got this shit burnt out. You got to burnt the fuck out. You doing too much. 10 songs? You doing too much. How the hell we get from there? What happened to all of that taunting? I'm going to let Robert Greene talk about where, not specifically, but something he talks about in his books of why Drake might have lost earlier into this competition. Let me let him talk about it. This is the author of the 48 Laws of Power.
Ability to get things done, you have to be in control of your emotions. You have to take a step back and you have to go, I'm not going to react. This person is pressuring me. They're saying these things. My natural tendency is to react, get my back up and bite back. No, I'm going to step back and I'm going to go, what's going to make them shut the fuck up? What's going to make them get out of my life? What's going to get rid of them? What's going to defeat them? If they're an adversary. I made that decision not to react, to get emotional. All right, now I have to think. If I do this, they're going to react this way. But if I surprise them with this angle, they won't know what to do, and then they'll react in a different way, and I'll be in control of the situation. I strategize. I go through a process of gaming out the possibilities here, and that's to be a strategist. The ability to...
Who does that sound like to you?
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Who does that sound like to you? Just wait it out. All of that Twitter, all of that Instagram trolling that Drake is doing, all of that academics trolling that's happening, doing countdowns every day. Who does that sound like? Who said, now I'm ready. And then when he dropped, Drake's back was against the wall and he was playing defense the entire time. He had to explain, wait a minute, guys, wait a minute. After Kendrick dropped the Meet the Grams, he goes on Instagram, and the first thing he addressed is not, matter of fact, I think I got a tweet about that. Hold on, where is it at? Drake did not address the Ozempic pills and surgery to his abs. He didn't address the Atlanta colonizer verse. He didn't. This is afterwards. This is afterward. Okay, let me make sure I'm accurate. Take that back. This was after Not Like Us. But he didn't address the alleged predators in the camp. He didn't talk about anything. He said, I don't understand giving someone fake info that you have a daughter and you run a sex ring, though. It opened up everyone investigating him. Hey, run for your life. This don't make no sense to me. It don't make no sense to me. But Robert Greene very brilliantly talks about, exactly. Sorry, Sonny Lover, you got my point back. He addressed the kid. He addressed that he doesn't have an 11-year-old kid. Brother, there's more things to address in that song. More dancing than there's more concerning things than that reveal of a daughter. If anything, it looks like in some possibility, Kendrick might have even played a chess move in revealing that. Because now you're going to show that you value people not believing you have a daughter more than you value them not believing that you're on some freaky ass nigga use a 6'9" God. You're more concerned about them thinking that you have another illegitimate child. Where are your priorities at, brother? Where are your priorities at, brother? You address that first. He ain't got no daughter, stupid. What about the other stuff? If I did, I would have been arrested, stupid. This is weird. This is weird, bro. But I think we need to really understand what's happening here, and it's so much deeper than just a rap battle now. When I keep saying this is a spiritual war, I mean that with everything that I say. When I keep saying that this is a culture war, I mean that with everything I say. And this is the part of the conversation where some of you may break off and not understand what we're getting at. But we got to talk about this culture, especially as we talk about West Coast culture, as we talk about the way that there are protocols that you must abide by if you're going to engage in one-to-one with somebody. If there's certain things that you do not do, and you would think that Drake would have understood when he stepped over the line and said something about Pusha T's wife, and Pusha T said, bet, now I'm finna violate you. Now I'm finna violate you. Because there's lines you don't cross when you understand what this is about. Drake is too culturally tone deaf to understand what's going on. Bet, you cross a line, I'm gonna violate you. I'm gonna violate your ass. Hey, yo. Before we get to that, though, let's talk about this theory by a Instagram account called Slotty Pippin. He talks about this is Kendrick Lamar's war of attrition. What do you mean when you say that?
Kendrick is taking a risk by going ballistic on the industry. He sees this as his duty as a black figure. Even Drake made fun of that and tried to say like, oh, you trying to always free the slaves. Like, that's a crazy comment. You always trying to be like an activist. It's like, bro, Kendrick is black history in motion. And the fact that Drake opposes this shows you that as, oh, you are not ever a part of the culture. You are always weaponizing and using it. Now that the industry supports you no matter what you do, you're going to keep doing this. You're not going to bow down and be like, hey, this whole altercation, not for me. My comments were in poor taste. I respect black figures. I respect the black struggle. He wouldn't say nothing like that. He's doubling down. Why? Because he is directly in opposition of these things. This is the perfect example of the industry manifests into an individual, which is Drake, the music, entertainment, culture industry, versus somebody who is of the culture and of the people. I won't say whether there is a right side or not, but I think it's pretty clear what is real and what is true is facing the most resistance that it ever has. You can see it personified with this whole thing that's going on with these two. There are individuals who embody this essence of authenticity, struggle. They are a product of something real and something strenuous, and that creates somebody who is not trying to generate profit and uplift only themselves. They are trying to do it on behalf of a community.
Mic drop.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
What is happening here is bigger than a battle. What is happening here is an exposing of not just Drake, the individual, but a certain mindset that has been prevalent upon this music industry, predatory upon this music industry for years and years. When Micah Cat Williams said this is the year of truth, these are the things he was talking about. And it's happening. It's happening to so many different industries at the same time. This is what he's talking about. There have been people who have invaded. And sometimes we willingly, pioneers of ours, willingly gave the sauce away. They've invaded this house called hip hop. And instead of adding decorations, instead of cleaning up, they've mucked the place up. They've dirtied the place up. They've been disrespectful to the rooms. They have squatted into this house. And they're not leaving. And they're not paying homage. They're not paying anything to this. They're taking advantage of their opportunity to infiltrate this house, this culture, this proverbial house. And now what's happening that you're seeing, you know why people are being touched so spiritually by these songs that you're hearing from Kendrick? Because now what we're recognizing is that people are shaking of the hypnosis, shaking of the easily pacifying music of a Drake, because he's so fucking good at it. He's so good at it. Don't deny that. He's so good at it. People are waking up and they're recognizing, what have I been following? It is that deep. It is that deep, ladies and gentlemen. I want to go here to the next one. It's one thing when you hear someone around my age say it, because we were here long enough to understand hip hop in a different light. We've seen it. But it's another thing when you got the younger kids who are saying, hey, you can't even fool us. We're not stupid, bro. We got critical thinking skills. No matter, I know some of my peers ate some Tide Pods back when and was planking and shit, but we really do be thinking. Listen to him break this whole shit down to a science about the lies that you heard in The Heart Part 6.
It's because none of us believe that shit, bro. Number one, Buddy said whoever you got your info from is a fucking clown. Then proceeds to say, nah, it was us that gave you the false info. So y'all are clowns? On Euphoria, Kendrick was like fabrications on the family front because you heard Mr. Morale. I can predict your every angle. Drake drops Family Matters. Now you let me know how the fuck Did Kendrick know Drake was dropping Without a Mole? How did Kendrick know to position his track name in the same category as Drake, Without a Mole? That's damn near impossible without one. One of the lines in Family Matter, J. Cole's the only person losing sleep. Why is there sleeping pills with your name on it on Kendrick's cover? There's a Maybach hearse in Drake's video. How the fuck does Kendrick have a picture of Maybach gloves? This man Drake said Ozempic has a side effect of jealousy and the doctors ain't tell y'all niggas. There's a pack of Ozempic on the fucking cover. And Kendrick been had this picture before Drake even dropped his track. You mean to tell me that Kendrick got fake evidence that Drake was about to lie in his own track before he even dropped it? That's like if I give you this and it got my name on the bottom and you post a picture like this and I make a video saying I ain't never using no great value disinfectant spray, it's only Clorox over here, and you post a picture like these and they can clearly see my name on the fucking bottom. Are you going to believe me if I get back on this bitch and be like, nah, I gave you some fake evidence, bro? What? Now with the 11-year-old kid, I wouldn't be surprised if Kendrick lied about that because Drake lied about him beating his wife. Now you let me know, why is Whitney's brother rooting for Kendrick on Twitter?
Did you see that? Did you see this? Did you see this? People are asking, why is nobody bringing up the point? Why is nobody looking for information about him laying hands on his wife? Have you ever thought that the habitual liar that admitted to manipulating lies for Kendrick to believe it on his side is lying to you too? Here you have a screenshot of Whitney, Kendrick Lamar's wife. Her brother is encouraging Kendrick. Hey, fuck him up, bro. Referring to the Not Like Us song. Why? If for those of you that have sisters, if a man that is not your relative beat on your sister, are you going to encourage him in some rap beef? No, it's all good, bro. Fuck him up, though, man. You got this, bro. She'll be fine. Huh? Your habitual liar is lying to you now. And I think you're starting to recognize it because there's holes in the argument. Make it make sense.
If Kendrick put his hands on his sister, no nigga on this planet would root for somebody that just beat their sister.
And not no nigga from LA either.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
LA, these niggas from out here is different. Different. You are dead to me for life. You lay a hand on anybody, on any women in my life, you're dead for life. Most black men in general, we kind of operate like that. But you're dead for life to me. Nigga, I don't care what beef you in. Hope you lose. I'm a hater for life. Everything. I hope you wake up and stub your toe on the same part of the bed every fucking day. I hate you. Hate you. You ain't about to root this man on in a battle.
Said the reason why you trying to call me a speedo so much is because you got played with when you were younger. And he tries to refer back to the Mother I track. Now, if y'all pea-brain ass niggas would have listened to that track, he's talking about the fact that his mother got played with. She thought that his cousin played with him. He said that did not happen, and she didn't believe him due to the trauma that she went through. This nigga Drake was blatantly lying all throughout his track.
The whole time.
Just throw that shit out the fucking window. Why the fuck are you bringing up Millie Bobby? Nobody ever brought...
The fact, it makes it funnier that he cuts it off. It makes it funnier that he cuts it off right there. Nobody brought up Millie Brown, but he brought it up because he's reading all of your comments. He's hoping you don't believe all of this stuff that you're hearing from Kendrick. He knows it has been a surgical breakdown of his personality. He knows that he has been profiled. He knows that he has been broken down to such a science that it could start to make women that have been so supportive. They've been the core of Drake's fan base. Now they're on these podcasts and they're asking themselves, why are we supporting him? He tells us right to our face his intentions, his womanizing ways. Even at the least, he tells us womanizing ways. In a time where the dialogue around how you treat a woman's rights is very different. He still wants to do this, and he's still talking to only younger women in his music. Why do we support him so much? And if any of these things hold an ounce of truth, what does that mean about us? The kids are asking questions. Shout out to my guy, DJ Head, man. I've known DJ Head for years now. And there's a panel here on Hip Hop DX with Elliott Wilson. And I forget the other gentleman's name, but where's it at? Let me grab this real quick. It's very important I get those information right. So it is called Drake versus Kendrick. Experts dissect the rap battle of the century. And in it, you have Elliott Wilson, Jeremy Hatch, and DJ Head. I've known DJ Head for a long time. And DJ Head, one thing you going to know about him, he going to yell out West Coast wherever he at. And he going to always stand on the side of truth, but he going to always make sure that you understand the contributions of West Coast artists, West Coast DJ. This is somebody that is literally like the Coast Guard for those artists that come out here and want to make sure that they're tapped in. This is the guy. Hearing him talk about what happens when an artist like Drake lacks cultural awareness, I hope you understand the direction we're going into next, because this may lose some people who are not ready to have this conversation. We got to dig into it. What happens when you lack cultural awareness? Talk about it, Head.
When it comes to the whole narrative of racism, right? He's racist. He's painting a racist narrative. He's not attacking the boy's race or his mom being white or none of that. He's attacking his culture. And I'm going to give you an example from my own lens. I'm not speaking for Dot. From my own lens as why he lacks that culture. Because when someone gives you the line, Jeremy just displayed it beautifully right now. There's a line presented. Jeremy's like, you know what? I identify that line and I'm not fucking with it.
Think about this for a second, okay? Because he doesn't talk about specifically that line and what it was, but think about this for a second. When you jump into a battle, like that was all about the big three conversation. Man, F the big three, man, it's just big me. I think that when he said that, he knew that at the very least, Drake and Cole was going to be on some rap shit. Okay, he knew at the very least. The issue was Drake doesn't understand the intricacies of the street politics of West Coast. He doesn't understand the intricacies of how you address culturally black men on the West Coast. He thinks he's above all these things. Family, if you remember, I sat here thinking there had to be a meeting before all of this popped off, because the way that Drake was loosely saying Top Dog's name in that song, go search for songs and see who ever talks about Top Dog in a disparaging way. Top Dog ain't the one to play with. That is not the one. You don't just drop that in your pop attempt at a rap battle. You are so culturally out of touch. Nobody does that. But you wouldn't know that because you seem to ignore all these politics along the way. I just thought to myself, it had to be a conversation beforehand. Seeing this dismantling, I highly doubt it now. But DJ Head's going to say, he's going to go on to say why stuff like that is a violation. Talking about Kendrick's wife is a violation. All the stuff that you got afterwards was rectifying the first violation. If you said Kendrick went too far, he didn't have to do all of this. That is what happens when you step over the line. You, in this West Coast politic, when you step over the line, family, you're giving me permission to now violate you. Pusha T did the same thing. He talked about my friend who's sick. You talked about his wife. I can now violate you. You would know that if you understood and cared about the ethics and the culture of hip hop. I'm going to violate you now. Because you got to understand, some shit ain't just rap. Go ahead, Ed. I'm going to let you go ahead and explain this.
Right? When someone gives you a line and you like, well, that means you lack cultural awareness and you don't have the wherewithal to understand the difference that this is a serious matter and this is just rap. Some things are not just rap. Some things are not hip hop. Some things are very personal. And when you lack cultural awareness, that then allows you to violate those things. When it comes to the whole...
That's what you got. You want a further explanation of this? We got some more stuff. There's a lot of people who are very uncomfortable when I use the word colonizing because I think they immediately associate it with a race. But colonizing can be done by people that look like the same people. It can be done by people who are of mixed. It can be done by anybody. It's a mentality. It's not a race. It's a mentality. And I think we got to break this down because, once again, you got to understand where Drake not only lost a rap battle. That was going to happen because you're going against a superior lyricist like Kendrick. I don't think anybody was in doubt of that. You lost the culture. And you're losing the culture every day that people are dancing to your allegations and yelling out, A minor. You're losing at the very same culture that you used to use and weaponize against a Meek Mill. Whether you feel like it was justified or not, it's happening to you now. This gentleman, I'm not sure of his name, but I found this on an Instagram page that posts a lot of great things about the culture. To get a better understanding, you should definitely follow him. They're called The Culture's Ours. And this gentleman that you're going to see who's reacting to this NFR podcast, he so eloquently and brilliantly breaks down the disconnect that's happening here. This is not merely about Drake being a light-skinned rapper from Canada. This is a lack of cultural awareness, a tone deafness that he continues to keep hammering down. I'm going to let him explain it, though.
This is enough to sway everybody to Kendrick's side for now. But the big...
Obviously, some of you have seen my immediate reaction to Euphoria by Kendrick, but I've seen a lot of men who have made a career out of commenting on hip-hop talk about Euphoria, and I think they are fundamentally missing the most important part of the entire song. One of the biggest parts of the song is that Kendrick is claiming to speak for the entire culture, and he pulls the string of what the culture is looking for and how the culture and Drake are not aligned. The problem with so many people who are commenting about this, because here's what I've seen consistently, is I've seen hip-hop fans universally say, God, Kendrick snapped. And I've seen a lot of white guys with podcasts go, I think this is pretty even. Because there's an element to what Kendrick is calling out in Drake that I think you as a white male hip-hop podcaster see in yourself.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Chance 99, and everybody who's been super chatting, I greatly appreciate you. Thank you so much. You understanding how deeper this is going now? This is hurting billion-dollar businesses that are having a lot of stake in Drake. This is also damaging the cultural currency that some may say Drake stole by cosplaying as different types of rappers from different areas, taking their lingo, taking whatever momentum they had, whatever street cred they had, using that to kind of power himself up like rings for Thanos, doing all that. Have you ever thought maybe that's why it's 20 versus 1? Have you ever thought that maybe 20 people who are all millionaires are not hating on him? Have you ever thought that maybe 20 people figured out this nigga did the same thing to them? He came through and took all of their resources like the Pilgrims. Have you ever thought about everybody recognizing like, hey, we all in Atlanta. Hey, did he do this shit to you? Bro, he started literally doing that shit on his own album. He didn't put me on a feature. He took my whole shit. You ever thought about maybe that's why it's 20 versus 1? Maybe it's not about everybody's hating on him. Maybe everybody has been affected the same way because he has a problem with stealing cultural currency.
Which is that you aren't actually a part of the culture, because the culture of hip hop at its core is rooted in a blackness that you can't fully participate in.
And let me make sure I address this. You said Folded Waffle says the game does it too. I don't really know how factual that is, but what I will say is this, and I said this on my Twitter today, and I know it pissed some people off. Drake is only the latest example of somebody that got exposed for this shit. He's just the latest example. He's the most famous example. But for those who have been in this industry, you know this shit happens all the time. And when you speak up and say, hey, no, they stole my shit. I've had that shit happen in the last 6 months. Big ass producers, big ass artists that just literally steal the shit, and they're the same race as me, steal the shit and act like they came up with it. I've had interviews I was supposed to have get cut off, and then the next thing I know, videos pop up that say, oh, I came up with this whole thing about, you know what I'm saying, like putting my music out a certain way. And I'm sitting here like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. This shit happens on a regular basis. I've been seeing it since I've been in this industry. But when you step out and you don't have the position like a Kendrick to say something, you're called a hater. When you do it, people say you're clout chasing. Nobody ever believes that person. But something's changing. Something's changing. It is very uncomfortable for people who have been comfortable stealing. It is very uncomfortable for people who have been comfortable stealing right in your face. Right in your face. As their fans celebrate it, as if they came up with something. Just because somebody is more famous and has more money than you and more clout as a musician does not mean that they are rich in original ideas. 20 years in this game, I've learned that over and over and over again. So I'm very careful who I disclose my information to, because I see this shit happen to this day. And I stay humble. I keep at it, and I realize that as long as I know that I have God on my side, as long as I know that what I'm doing is a spiritual experience, every dog will have their day. I don't have to, vengeance is not mine. God got this. I think what you're seeing with Kendrick, there's a reason why you can trace back all these different songs that sound like they're talking to Drake, because he's seen this. But if he popped out and didn't do anything, if he popped out and there was no reason for him to do it, he's seen as a hater. How dare you hate on the person that took you on your first tour, Kendrick? That is so disrespectful. That's how they're going to spin this shit. He stayed patient. He stayed patient. And when it was time,
boom. And so I watched a guy do a review of it, and he never even mentioned the elements of Kendrick revoking Drake's N-word pass, which is one of the most major parts of the entire song, right? Like, or talking about, because if we flash back to what Rick Ross going off on the rants about Drake, and then Drake posting the screenshot of the text to his mom in which he described Rick Ross as being racist, and then black folks being like, that's a really white thing of you to do, Drake.
You remember that when Rick Ross started trolling and playing Drake at his own game? He turned around and faked a screenshot of a text message between him and his mom, and the first thing he responded back was, "That's just Rick Ross being racist, Mom. Ignore him." You're talking about somebody who is black when it's convenient, who is of the culture when it's convenient. When Sexy Red come around, he know how to talk that shit. He got a southern slang you ain't never heard in your life. When he get on a song with Lil Wayne, man, something about them, you know what I'm saying? He started pronouncing words a little bit, Tasha. When he get around these Atlanta rappers, he starts slime this. He knows how to do that. He's so good at that shit. And look at what's happening. Look at what's happening now. It's now officially working against him. The jig is up. And the companies are the ones that run you. And we know it now because they're pulling you out of a rap battle. Your daddy called. You can't play no more. The street lights is on. Time to go in the house. Insane.
Like, there's so much of that exists, but when you are already a white person trying to profiting off of black culture, you can't actually admit that what Drake is identifying here, he's not only identifying Drake, he's identifying you. So of course they're going to instinctually side with Drake because Drake represents what they are. And also what Kendrick is actually calling out in the song is not necessarily saying that Drake isn't black, but saying that Drake's blackness is only useful when it's profitable.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Do you hear what's happening? Do you see what's happening? What you got to understand is this. I follow the industry because I am an artist myself. I'm a producer myself. Do you understand what happens when somebody that large is able to colonize different areas the way that he has done it? You got to understand. I gave this example the other day, and I think I haven't talked about it here. When you're as big as Drake, you know what you can do? You can go to any hood in America. You're Drake. It's like Bieber's. He's just as big as Bieber. You can go to any hood. Matter of fact, I seen Bieber in the hood one time. Not personally. I seen him on a video. He was in the hood doing push-ups. You got to pass. Why? Because people see you as an opportunity to make money. And even if they don't even like your demeanor, they overlook that shit because you represent money. And you also represent an opportunity for them to be heard on a different stage. The thing is, I think Drake has gotten away with, I can go to any of these hoods, any of these places because my money is long. And as long as you value my money, as long as you value my collaboration, not only will you invite me into your home, into your hood, into your block, you'll tell me everything. You'll share the way you do your music. You'll share how you have your vocal chains. You'll share how you do your ad-libs, what these ad-libs mean. You'll share all that. And the thing about culture vultures that I've learned, they always give you props so it feels like they're not stealing from you. That's my guy, man. Shout out to him. Y'all got to check him out. What happens is a very manipulating thing. The artist then says, damn, I owe Drake for putting me on. The problem with that is that nobody talks about the exchange that a Drake gets. You, in exchange for me giving this feature, you give me a little bit of street cred. For giving me this feature, you give me a little bit of cred in your area where they didn't take me serious. They thought I was just some actor who's rapping. Now they take me serious. Now I can use your lingo and it sounds like I'm paying homage because I did a song with you. How can you say I'm stealing from Memphis culture when I just did a song with JB the Block? Like, how can you? This is what's happening. It's been happening. And how many artists, like a Drum, can we think of that have been a part of this, have had their entire rollouts literally taken advantage of because Hot Blind Bling drops at the same time as that Drum song? How many times have we seen that? So for me, the reason I get so passionate about it, because it's bigger than Drake. This is a mentality. This is a spiritual war between two different types of personalities, two type of ways of doing business, two types of ways, two types of ethics. And we're getting exposed in real time like Micah Cat Williams said we would.
But outside of the profitability of blackness, Drake never actually exhibits or lives in what it means to be black, particularly in America. And so for the white men who are commenting on hip hop for career, God bless you, do your thing, podcast microphones, whatever, but also recognize that part of what Kendrick is calling out is the reality of an existence of if blackness is only profitable for you, then you are a problem. And we don't want to hear you say nigga no more.
That was a point.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
That's a great point. Great point. Shout out to him. That's a great point.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Everybody's so concerned about, not everybody, the other side is so concerned about the TMZ news, the shade room gossip, the flashy, sassy ad-libs, the sing-songy flows that he has in his songs, the GTA transition trailer looking videos. They're so concerned about the wrong things, and you start to realize they overlook all the allegations. They overlook all of the obvious holes in his personality. They overlook all these different things that are being brought to light because you're just like him. But then Kendrick turns around and makes an anthem that says, well, of course, because they're not like us.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Brilliant, 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 brilliant. I think it's something you got to understand because you may see in a lot of ways, a lot of the fight that you see with Kendrick, I like to believe that I've been on my own fight when it comes to the way these streaming platforms work. I took my music off of streaming because I felt like we have been compromising our art for so long. People now walk around with an expectation that music shouldn't be paid for, even though there are some of us that make art as a high art. Shout out my guy Stevie Crooks, that make art as a high art. It is a fine art. We take our time with this. We do invest time. It ain't no just 15-minute songs and a 5-minute beat. We don't do that. We take our time. There's a reason why it takes so long for certain Kendrick projects to drop, because he cares about the product. He doesn't have to meet a quota because UMG's on his back. He cares about it. And when you do see him in his element, no pun intended, you feel something different. The music hits different. It's not just about it being catchy and hypnotizing. It's about it hitting your soul in a way that you're glad that you had to wait for it, because you know it's going to carry over into the next release. I think it's a theory. I have a lot of fire in me when it comes to like making sure that those who are independent stay independent and stay proud of their independence. Stop selling off the culture to these people. It's time to repo the culture and evict these squatters, bro. Evict these squatters. And there's going to be a lot of people that you thought were of the culture that ain't of the culture when I say this. I want to go a little bit deeper. I like what this gentleman here said. And it pains me. If you do know his name, please make sure that you post it here in the chat so I can repeat it. But I had this clip in my phone for a long time. And he says something that I thought was really, really hit home, because I'm an 80s baby. I'm an 80s baby. Kendrick's an 80s baby. And I think what you're recognizing is a fire that it's only going to make sense to certain people. And I think a lot of you in here represent that, because we've been talking hip hop for the last 5-6 days, and I love it. Listen to what he said about how 80s babies are how they are designed. And he said this in the early 90s, which is crazy. Peep this.
Any soul coming in since 1985, really I would say 1980, is an old soul. They are here to fight, but in a way that you don't even understand. They are here to reawaken you, to help get guidance, and they all must be centered. You cannot leave those souls alone. They did not come here to be left alone. If you leave them alone, they will come into the maturity of the animal body, and they will fight and kill. They have done it before. They will do it again. If you guide them, they will not be abused by computers. They master computers.
Talk about it.
In fact, it kicks in their neuron centers faster. The sounds that you hear on the air in rap, The rap is only the soul that is very angry, and it needs to be angry because it needs that strength of, again, the, the gland of fight and flight. Can't think of the gland right now I'm talking about. It needs that kind of a quickening and awakening. But it also needs a time for peace and quiet. And you will find once they go through that, they suddenly fall asleep, and they sleep very deeply because that is also to bring balance. But mark my word, none of these children are weak. These children are strong beyond belief, and they can take things that you could not take. That's why they chose this time of birth. They can be very good. They can be very bad.
Dr. Delbert Blair, is that his name? Dr. Delbert Blair. That is that gentleman. Dr. Delbert Blair. I appreciate these words. I do. If that's indeed who that is, I appreciate those words. Ladies and gentlemen, when I say this is a spiritual war, this is deeper than just who got better bars. This is deeper than just who had the most witty gossip. This is telling you that there is something happening. There is a shift happening. I always love when you feel a certain way about, like, yo, is it going to be the 80s babies that go and reclaim hip hop? We're built different. We're very different. Daylight's an 80s baby. Ab-Soul's an 80s baby. Right? Some folks who are at the top tier of their skill set. I'm an 80s baby. Are we going to be the ones that repo this? Are we going to be the ones that ask questions that maybe our elders were a little bit nervous about asking? Are we going to be the ones that say, fuck that, it's worth it? Put it all on the line. Are we going to be the ones? And I feel like that is what's happening. I feel like what you're seeing right now, Kendrick is going up against not just Drake, it's going up against Nike, UMG. This is happening in real time. And if they're asking him to apologize, and he said, I don't look like apologizing, deal with it. To me, that's that 80s baby energy. What I was going to show you is also there's something else that lines up with this. I want to go ahead and address that beforehand. Where we at? This is really interesting too. Just general news. We're going to continue to keep talking about this, but check this out as well. Rob Abelo, who's really good for following information when it comes to independent artists and things that are happening in the industry. He had this to say about what's happening right now as we speak, really as a side effect of what's happening between this Drake and Kendrick battle. He says the TikTok era is over. Artists aren't being signed based on one thing going viral anymore. It feels like it's going back to real art. And the TikTok era is over. Artists aren't being signed based on one thing going viral anymore. I think the industry learned that a lot of those artists aren't artists. No shit. Some are, but you can't predict which one is which. It's nice to see that you can't really manipulate the system anymore. Family, it is a spiritual.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm
It is something happening right now. It is too obvious to ignore. Something is happening right now, and it's fueled by these 80s babies. I came here with receipts tonight because I think all of this is important. All of this is worth talking about it. This is semi-related, but I think this is also something that we got to talk about with some of the media outlets. Some of the media outlets who have been covering this culture don't seem to have an appreciation for the culture. They seem to have an appreciation for those that like them, that show love to them, that they can benefit off of. But once again, that's a microcosm of the thing that I feel that Drake represents. So with that said, I take it upon myself to create content. You can say it's Kendrick bias, but really it's culture bias. Really it's hip hop bias. Because I don't know no other place to be. I don't know what other side to stand on. Fam, this, check this out. This was my introduction to hip hop. This was my introduction to hip hop, ladies and gentlemen. I wasn't really given a choice. It's Young Carter's King. Young Carter's King on the ones and twos. I wasn't really given a choice. I can't take this off. I can't go get a corporate job and all of a sudden, I'm never not hip hop anymore. I am of this culture. I've contributed to it for the last 20 years. I've taught young artists and producers the other way to go outside of that other industry, how to be independent, how to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, how to think for yourself, critically think. So when I see this shit going on, I'm like, nah, we see an opportunity happening right now. There's an opportunity to change some shit. And if we're not going to be the ones, we can at least be the ones that set it in motion. And I feel like that's what's happening. This was funny. This is like some general shit about the song. Somebody said, I'm even more confused because K-Dot spent 3 songs calling Drake a master manipulator. And Drake's response is, ha ha, I manipulated you into thinking I had a daughter. Stupid. Boop. I just got a dog looking like that. They think you're stupid. They think you're stupid. Shout out to Denzel Washington. Always somebody with a lot of wisdom. He explains very brilliantly culture to someone who's asking him about, is it a black and white thing? Check this out.
So why did he need a black director? Could a white director not have?
It's not color, it's culture.
Explain the difference, because I think we're
Steven Spielberg did Schindler's List. Martin Scorsese did Goodfellas, right? Steven Spielberg could direct Goodfellas. Martin Scorsese probably could have done a good job with Schindler's List. But they're cultural differences. I know, you know, we all know what it is when a hot comb hits your hair on a Sunday morning, what it smells like. That's a cultural difference, not just a color difference. So it's the culture.
We're going to have these culture conversations. I know other people are looking for the low-hanging fruit. They're looking for stuff that is going to get them the most views. Nah, this is an opportunity. I'm talking to a lot of hip-hop heads. I'm talking to a lot of amazing people, maybe even some folks who disagree with every point that I'm making, but I have an opportunity to at least give you another point of view, one that is not blinded by your infatuation with the fame of a Drake, one that is not blinded by your circle of friends who are like, you're a lame for thinking it's that deep. It ain't that deep. No, it is that deep. Because what we do now is going to have a tremendous effect upon what happens to the next so odd years of artists. And I feel like this is our opportunity to evict the tenants and repo hip hop. And it's happening. Plus, the industry has already said they're going to deprioritize rap in the name of Afro beats, in the name of world music, in the name of Spanish music. Like, they've already said they want to wash their hands of this. Justin says, are you half white like Drake? I think you've missed the entire point here. You've missed the entire point. And I'm not going to continue. You can go back and watch the video. I'm not going to continue to explain culture to someone who only sees this one-dimensionally. If you're only judging us based upon what you see, you're part of the problem. You're part of the eviction that needs to happen in this culture. Because seeing it as, I had somebody earlier today tell me, hip-hop needs, matter of fact, let's go to that tweet. I think this is a good time. This is more important than that tweet. That tweet's funny, but this is more important. Somebody told me this earlier, and I thought this shit was really interesting because people are trying to spin narratives and make this a, can't we all just get along? Shout out to Rodney King. Oh, he deleted it.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell
The children are waking up. He deleted it. He deleted it. Basically, this gentleman said, why can't hip hop just be about equality and equal rights for everybody? Why can't it be just, why does it have to be about this whole culture thing? Why can't everybody be invited? And I said, sir, have you ever considered that some people, not you, have colonized and rewritten the history of hip hop under the guise of peaceful words such as unity and equality? This time period has exposed that a lot of guests in the culture are merely squatters with ulterior motives.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
He deleted that shit, though. Then he came back to me and said, I get that wholeheartedly, but only some people, not all, are squatters and culture vultures, and shouldn't we do better to restore the peaceful, less divisive narrative that hip-hop is empowering and uplifting for everyone? I said, hip-hop must first close its gates and evict those tenants so that I can do the proper repairs upon its house and people. We have a lot to rebuild. Also, new boundaries must be set in motion moving forward so we can properly identify who that we is, because all skin folk ain't kinfolk. Remember what Drake 3000 said? He said everybody with dreads ain't for the cause. Everybody with gold ain't for the fall. Don't get caught up in appearances. Don't get caught up in appearances. Don't get caught up in appearances. You're gonna lose the point. That's how we got in this shit to begin with. Somebody that looked like us, worked for them folks, and told us we should go with them and we should trust them. That's how we got in this shit. That's how we got in this shit. So please, try to look deeper than just the surface of things. Look at the actions of people. Look at what they stand for. Check my Carfax. Check my Carfax, please. Please, I know we in here with a bunch of different people. Check my Carfax. Check my contributions. And then before you even come back to me, I need you to bring your paperwork up to the table and let's talk about why you have a validation power. Somebody convinced because the doors and the gates were wide open that everybody that walks through it is validated. What have you contributed to the culture? What have you done? What have you done? What have you done except for listen, except for take? You don't even pay for music. What have you done? You're talking to somebody who has done and continues to do. I'm in the motion. I'm literally at my job now, making sure that we do not lose touch with the principles, the beginning principles of this culture. Are you kidding me? Nobody here is talking about the culture war going on. Stop it. Don't play me like that. With that said, though, I thought this was really interesting. Really popular streamer No Life Shaq said Kendrick helped reaction community by making life-changing money because he removed copyright claims on his music for video creators. You know what's crazy? Only somebody who's in touch with the people understands this. Drake is too much of a consumer. He's too much of a capitalist to understand the benefits culturally of doing this. You get that? Let me let him explain it. I thought it was a dope clip.
This right here is a W move for Kendrick Lamar on so many levels. Now, for people like me, Z's and B-Lou, DJ Ghost, Dante, us big channels, we got enough pull where we can get our claims removed. I damn near get paid for every video I put out at this point because I got connections with damn near every label. I got some kind of connection. If I can't get the copyright removed, they already paid me up front to just react to it. They don't even tell me what to react to. I react to what I want to react to, and they'll pay me if they needed that promoted. It don't got to that level, man. That's why I say we blessed over here. But this ain't about me. This is about the whole reaction community. Everybody was able to eat off this beef. And for Kendrick Lamar to double back and think about the reaction community and remove all copyright from his songs.
That part.
Kendrick Lamar is a W-mans, bro. W-mans. And that's a big deal because it's a lot of people smaller channels that got a lot of views from this beef.
That part.
Their channel got seen by a lot of people just because of this beef. And then for them to be able to get paid for what they put out, oh my God, man, you gonna inspire the next big channel.
What you gotta understand too, all these live streams that I was doing, I didn't think I was gonna get paid for any of them because I was playing the songs. I didn't go into this knowing. Matter of fact, by the time I did my last stream and I was losing my voice, at this point, I saw an opportunity to talk to so many new people. Not that I had a problem with the people I already had. I love my DIYers. I love my folks. But there's so many of you that excited me that you were here for high-level conversations about hip-hop. Fucking love that. That made my whole week. Even when I was sick, that made me, I just thought about that randomly. It made me feel so good. And so I saw an opportunity to leverage your interest in this topic so that we can talk about topics that can really move the needle. I wasn't getting paid for any of these videos. But for Kendrick to go and say, I'm so tapped in with the culture, I'm going to release all copyright claims. Y'all get paid off of this. That's the difference. That's the difference. While the other guy is handling business as usual and he's seeing how he can finesse this into some kind of new deal, how he can finesse this into, I took on one of the best rappers at the time, you know what I'm saying? Like I came out unscathed. Not quite. While he's using this for commercial reasons, you're seeing what happens when you connect with the culture versus when you connect with the internet. The internet is not culture. The internet is many different cultures. It is not a culture in itself. And I think sometimes we convince ourselves because we always say, man, the internet be crazy. No. That is a segment of one other culture that is like that. So I look at this and I'm like, this is such an important move because look, I did this for free. I talked about this for free. This ain't about no clout. Like, dog, I could talk about a million things on this channel for clout. This is something personal to me because I hold this culture very near and dear to my heart. And the fact that we sat in here and we went through double entendres, y'all broke down this shit and say, Curtis, you missed this line. That shit filled me up. As a rapper that really raps, you got to understand, I talk to these rappers all the time. I'm a rapper's rapper. Matter of fact, Ab-Soul said of this shit. Curtis King tell you I'm a lyricist. Like, he said this shit in songs. With that said, I hear how discouraged some of these rappers sound when they think nobody wants to hear lyrics no more. They don't care about lyrics no more. This nigga Drake came and mucked up shit. He really made this shit a very watered down industry. And there's so many people that are clones of him. And it's not his fault. He found his lane. He did his thing. There's so many clones of him that have now diluted the product because they want to become as successful as him. He's the new model that we've lost our way. You know why we lost our way? Because we were following somebody who never took the time to learn our way. What's happening right now is spiritual. What's happening right now is a great reset. And not just our industry, it's multiple industries that is happening. I hope you're paying attention. We're going to start winding down here. I think we have a lot of talking points. Man, it's insane to me just seeing. Matter of fact, is this conversation still? I want to highlight what my guy Epic said because I think that there's some really good things that were said. Yeah, I've been muting like crazy. These niggas have lost their mind talking to me. I'm not entertaining no more of these goofy ass I'm not entertaining no more of these goofy ass conversations. So the guy responded back to me, I get that wholeheartedly, but only some people, not all, are squatters and culture vultures. Shouldn't we do better to restore the peaceful, less divisive narrative that hip hop is empowering and uplifting for everyone? There's a changing of the shit that's I don't think people understand like the war that is happening right now. Right? When you got kids, like I try not to judge nobody's art because it's your art. But what fucked up world are we in? And excuse my language. What world are we in where kids is like, yo, play that Sexy Red. And I don't want to disrespect her because she's an independent artist and I want to see that black woman win. And I know black women that are an avatar of her and I've seen it before. She represents. But my booty hole, Coachy paint my booty hole brown. Like, dog, like, and she's done many things outside of that, but I think that the problem is not that she exists. The problem is that that's the only thing. There's nothing to balance it out. There was a time when NWA went on tour with Fresh Prince. Golden age of hip hop. We don't see that no more. There's only one end of things being shown. I like what my brother here said that I thought was really interesting. He said, hip hop is a blood sport. It started with battling. If you want fairy tales, go write a book. People from outside the culture come in it and act as if they run it and have been doing it for decades. This past week, we say no. Once again, another 80s baby. Not too hard to understand. We want the division. We want to see who's clearly on that bullshit. The guy responds and says, ain't no righteousness in division, my brother. I definitely get and respect the competition aspect. These diss records are top tier hip hop. I'm fucking done. But the whole we and us gotta go. Who the fuck is this? Who daddy is you? I guess this is what I get for going to war for peace. It's these kind of narratives that we've allowed to run hip hop media. It's these type of narratives that we've allowed to run even our own way of looking at things at times. And I think that that's the thing that's being changed. He said, homie Epic said, ain't no righteousness in war, my guy. This is a culture war. And playing the peace card, not going to work this time.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
I know very well that many of you are here because of me talking about this topic, but I hope to continue to hear from you. I hope you consider subscribing to this channel. I hope that you recognize this kind of smoke exists for not just the Drakes of the world, but the Spotifys, the Applefies of the world. I hope you recognize that we have been activated for some time now. We see what's happening. The writing is on the wall. There's an opportunity here. We can't get caught up in semantics. We can't get caught up in arguing about the way, I just like the way they make me feel. We can't get caught up in that shit right now. We can't get caught up in the shit that you found in the Willie Lynch letter. We're not going to get caught up versus light versus dark, young versus old. We're too smart for that. We're too smart for that. And we see the opportunity to take back this thing that we care so much about. I cannot tell you, look, I've been doing reaction video for the last year, family. And I was doing videos talking about how the major labels are going to deprioritize hip hop. It's one of my biggest videos on this channel. It was a Joe Budden clip. It hurt me to see so many of my elders who were hip hop fans that came in here and said, like, good. I'm glad this shit is ending, because it's been breaking my heart for the last 20, 30 odd years. Seeing that in droves, I've seen that shit happen. And what I recognize is that it's because we lost our way. I said this last time, and I want to end on this note as well. That song, I Used to Love Her by Common, needs an update. It needs an update. Because she went on to become a mother, a grandmother. The song, I Used to Love Her, is about Common talking about a woman, but the woman he's describing is hip hop. About how she went West Coast and certain things change, how she went to college and things change. It needs an update. Because her granddaughter, been out here, and the industry tried to slut her out. The industry tried to drug her out. The industry treated her real, real dirty. And now the industry is saying, we don't even need you no more. We got Afro beats. We got Afro pop. We got the world music. We don't need you no more. You drug her out. You strung her out. And now you discard her off like some trash. What happens when that happens in real life? Who's the last people there for you? Who sometimes it don't work out like that, but usually who the last people there for you? Your family. I think hip hop's going back home. When I see LaRussell doing shows from his backyard, I say hip hop's going back home. When I see, I forget the gentleman's name, but the gentleman that has the porch freestyles, and he's doing like these live bands in front of his house, I say hip hop is coming back home. When I look at myself, I got a home stage right now where I rap and I do free shows here on my channel. In my house. I did one where I sold tickets. We had $400 worth of tickets we sold from my house. Hip hop is coming back home. Because don't nobody know how to treat you like your mama, like your grandmama and them. Don't nobody know how to treat you like your family. And it needs to reconnect with its principles. Because these people who run these companies have given you new principles to live by. They've told you how to be black. They've told you how to make music. They told you what's authentic. They told you all these things, and we believed it because it made us money. We know better. And now we finna do better. And there's so many of us out here right now. I hope that your palate has been prepared to listen to music that is of a different tier. It's not about, like, shout out to Daylight. He said this shit ain't about bringing back Adidas tracksuits. This ain't about bringing back the golden age. No, it's not that. This is about, let's take the baton that those gentlemen have set up, the doors they opened up, and yes, let's utilize this time we're in, and let's evolve it. Let's take it, because these other folks don't know what to do with it. All they know how to do is how to slut it out. All they know how to do is how to make money off the shit. We gonna be the ones. If it's not us, it's gonna be the next generation. But we gonna make sure that we usher this shit in. We need to continue. We need to take the baton and evolve it. But in the process, a lot of people gotta feel uncomfortable. And right now, I'm seeing a lot of people who have been guessing this culture. A lot of people who are gonna be able to get in their 30s and 40s and take this shit off like it's nothing. Feeling really uncomfortable right now. And they should. Because you have come into this house showing no respect for those who bought the house, who built the house, for those that are still trying to clean up the house. And this has nothing to do with the style of music that you make. It's about, are you telling your authentic story? Or are you allowing these playlisters on Spotify playlists to tell you what real music is, how long your music should be, because if not, you can't get on my playlist. Are you allowing these people who have nothing to do with the culture shape your culture? Come back home. Are you allowing these labels to restructure who you are at your core, telling you need to talk a little less country to be more commercially appealing? Are you allowing them to tell you how to be you from where you're from? This shit is changing, bro. This shit is changing. Whether we like it or not, it's changing. These companies pulled a grown man out of a beef. Because it's officially a beef now. They pulled a grown man out of a beef because of how powerful the culture is. Those are my thoughts, though, DIYers. You let me know what you think.
DIY.